Hi folks, this is Dave. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. This is going to be a bit belated, but I hope you are able to have time to visit with your children or your fathers, and hope it was a good weekend for you. I had that opportunity this weekend, and I always have a special time when I am able to share time with my children. I had this episode on my mind for a while, and I saw a video this morning by Rob at Baseball Time Traveler, who kind of focused on fathers and his grandfather a bit. So I thought maybe I would get this video out, even though it's probably going to be a day or two after Father's Day. And what I'm going to talk about is kind of a special group of fathers and sons and grandfathers that played in Major League Baseball. So let me flip this camera around and let's get started. There have been 262 major leaguers that have had sons that have followed them in the major leagues. And of those, only 4 families have had 3 generations that have played in the major leagues. One of those families is the Boone family. And here we see the cards for the Boones with the patriarch Ray Boone on the left, followed by Bob Boone and his rookie card, Brett Boone, and Aaron Boone. I'm sure we're familiar with those names, and they have been a relatively successful family in Major League Baseball. Each of them played in at least one All-Star game. They've been awarded 11 Gold Gloves between them and 2 Silver Sluggers. Each of them has hit more than 100 home runs, and they have a combined total of 634. In addition, Bob and Aaron were and are currently major league managers. Between them, they have a winning percentage of .529 with 1,758 wins, depending on wins and losses today. Topps put out father-son cards a few years ago, and here is one of Ray and Bob, and here is Bob and Brett. In addition to that, they nearly had one more son that played in the major leagues. This is a card of Matt Boone, who never made it out of the minor leagues, never made it to the show. But that would have been really cool had he made it. And in addition to that, Brett has a son who has played in the minor leagues, and I think perhaps he has given up his dream now. But if I'm wrong about that, let me know in comments. The other family I'd like to highlight is the Bells. Here are cards of Gus and his son Buddy, and Buddy's sons David and Mike. The Bell family is relatively notable in the game, and is today, in fact. Gus broke into the major leagues in 1950, played in 4 All-Star games. Buddy played in 5 All-Star games, had 6 Gold Gloves and 1 Silver Slugger. Buddy's career was bordering on Hall of Fame. His lifetime WAR is 66.4. Buddy also managed in the major leagues for over 1,200 games, and David is approaching 800 games as the manager for the Cincinnati Reds. And I have a card of father and son, Gus and Buddy, is shown there. The third 3-generation family I'm showing you is the Hairston family. They are less well known than the Boones and the Bells, but each of them had major league careers, even if short. So Sam, the patriarch, played in the Negro Leagues from 1944 to 1948, and then had a brief stint with the White Sox in 1951 as a catcher, and actually in a handful of games he hit 400 and then was never brought back up again. Next to him are his sons, Jerry, also played for the Sox, and Johnny, and that's an art card I picked up of him. Johnny only had a cup of coffee with the Cubs. And then Jerry's sons, Jerry Jr. and Scott, their cards are on the right. Of those, Scott was maybe the most well-known. Jerry Jr. was as well. Scott hit over 100 home runs, and Jerry Jr. had a WAR of about 13. But here are cards for the Hairston family. And the fourth three-generation MLB family to spotlight is the Coleman family. And if you knew the Colemans to be three-generation family and you knew these players, you really know your baseball. Joe Coleman Sr. broke into the big leagues in 1942, just before World War II, and then came back and played after. His son, Joe, also played, and played much longer. And his son, Casey, just had a short career. But Joe and his son, Joe, each appeared in one All-Star game. Between the three of them, they had 202 lifetime wins and a combined ERA of 3.98. I think it's really interesting that the Colemans each followed their fathers as pitchers, and that the Boones, the Bells, and the Hairstons each followed their fathers as fielders and hitters. So anyway, that's the four three-generation MLB families. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.